My name is Janice Gonzalez, 36 years old. My father once told me I was the cash cow, not the achiever. That was 12 years ago, the day I dropped out of college to work 3 jobs so my sister could become a doctor. 75 hours a week, $3,200 a month, sent home like clockwork. They never asked how I was. They never asked if I had enough to eat. 5 years of that. 5 years of being invisible while Victoria got everything: the tuition, the summers abroad, the family pride. They don't know what I did with the other 7 years. They don't know where I've been working the last 4 years. And in about 6 hours, when Victoria walks into her first complex trauma case as primary operator, she's going to see exactly who's been holding the instruments on the other side of the table. That's when everything they thought they knew about their cash cow daughter falls apart. Let me take you back to where this started. December 2013. I was 24 years old, senior year at UT Austin, engineering major with a 3.6 GPA. I came home for winter break expecting cookies and questions about finals. Instead, my parents sat me down at the kitchen table. Victoria was 18, sitting quiet in the corner chair. She'd just graduated high school that May. There was a blue acceptance letter stuck to the fridge with a magnet: UT Austin, biology program, pre-med track, the kind that costs money. My father's coffee cup was still steaming. The corner of the table had that chip in it from when I was 7 and dropped a plate. Normal things. Except nothing about that conversation was normal. "We need to talk about Victoria's future," Dad said. Daniel Gonzalez, construction foreman, 51 years old at the time, hands like leather from 30 years of work. "She's gifted. College costs money. You're doing fine, almost done. But Victoria, she could be a doctor. We need you to help." I remember looking at the acceptance letter, looking at Victoria, looking back at my father. Help how? My mother. Carmen, hospital housekeeping manager, the kind of woman who took double shifts without complaints. He didn't meet my eyes when she said it. "Quit school, get a job, just for a few years." Just for a few years. I looked at Victoria, waiting for her to say something, waiting for her to tell them this was insane. She looked down at her hands. 18 years old. She said nothing. 3 days later, I was in the registrar's office at UT Austin filling out withdrawal forms. The academic advisor was a woman named Ms. Holland. She had reading glasses on a chain and a nameplate that said academic counseling. "You have a 3.6 GPA in engineering," she said, looking at my transcript. "You're one semester away from graduating. Are you absolutely sure about this?" I signed the form. Student ID 501836229. Yellow paper, official university seal at the top. "It's a family thing," I said. "I have to." Ms. Holland slid the form into a folder. "Good luck out there." I walked past the library on my way out. Saw my classmates through the windows, studying for finals. Laptops open, textbooks stacked. I kept walking. Turned in my dorm key to the RA that afternoon. She said the same thing. "Good luck out there." I didn't feel lucky. The next week, I interviewed at 3 places. Riverside Logistics, a warehouse operation on the east side of San Antonio. Clean Pro Services, a commercial cleaning company. Sterling Catering, weekends and events. I got hired at all 3 within 5 days. The warehouse supervisor was a guy named Tommy Reeves. 50-something, gray beard, safety vest with reflective strips. He looked at my application: college dropout, no experience, desperate, and asked one question. "Can you lift 50 pounds? "Yes." "Can you do it 300 times a shift?" "I'll learn." He hired me on the spot. 40 hours a week, $11.50 an hour, 5 a.m. start time. I got a yellow safety vest and steel-toe boots from the supply closet. CleanPro gave me blue microfiber towels and a bottle of industrial cleaner. Night shift, 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., office buildings downtown. 20 hours a week, $10 an hour. Sterling Catering gave me a white button-up shirt and black slacks. Weekends, weddings, and corporate events. 15 hours a week, $12 an hour plus tips if we were lucky. I made a spreadsheet that week. 75 hours total. Color-coded by job. Green for warehouse, blue for cleaning, white for catering. I calculated my take-home after taxes. About $3,400 a month if I didn't miss a shift. Victoria's college tuition was $1,200 a month. My parents said they needed another $2,000 for expenses, books, supplies, a new laptop, transportation, apartment deposit. I sent $3,200 the first month, kept $200 for myself. January 2014. First paycheck from Riverside Logistics, $856 after taxes. I walked to Western Union after my shift, still in my warehouse clothes, boots covered in cardboard dust. The clerk printed a receipt. Transaction number 856-003. $800 sent to Carmen Gonzalez. I kept $56. My mother texted back 30 minutes later. Received. Victoria needs new laptop for school. Not thank you, not how are you, just Victoria needs. I ate a McDonald's dollar menu dinner that night. $3.18 for a McDouble, small fries, and water. I had a bus transfer ticket in my pocket and $52.82 left until the next paycheck in 11 days. I opened my banking app on my phone. The screen was cracked in the corner from when I dropped it the week before. Balance? $63.27. 11 days. I could do this. I could do. March 2014. I called home on Victoria's 19th birthday. Wanted to wish her happy birthday, see how school was going, maybe hear that things were okay. The phone rang 4 times. My mother picked up. Hello? Hey, Mom, it's Janice. Is Victoria around? I heard my father's voice in the background. He was talking to someone else. Didn't know I was on the line. Yeah, Janice is our cash cow now. Victoria's the real achiever. I froze. Phone pressed to my ear. Call duration 047. My hands started shaking. My mother said something I didn't hear. I hung up. I didn't call home for 9 months after that. The warehouse broke my body in small ways. 6 months in, my hands blistered, then calloused, then bled through the cheap gloves they gave us. I loaded boxes onto conveyor belts. 40 hours a week, box after box. The digital counter on the belt ticked over every time one passed the sensor. 1,263 boxes per shift. Some of the boxes had labels that said "Handle with care." I handled them the same as everything else. Fast, efficient, no time to be careful. Tommy Reeves noticed after a few months. He saw the blood soaking through my gloves one morning, came over during break. You okay? Your hands are bleeding. I'm fine. Most people quit first week, he said. You've been here 6 months. I can't quit. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he reached into his locker and pulled out a backup pair of work gloves. Better ones, reinforced palms, actually padded. Here, he said. Use these. It was the first kindness anyone had shown me in 6 months. I took the gloves. Didn't trust myself to say anything else. Tommy nodded and walked away. Night cleaning crew was different, quiet. I worked alone most of the time, vacuuming office floors, emptying trash cans, wiping down desks. The building was downtown, 12 floors, mostly financial companies and law firms. I'd push my cleaning cart down the hallways at 11 p.m., fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, white hexagon tiles under my feet, Hoover commercial vacuum humming behind me. Badge number 47J clipped to my shirt. The desks all had personal items, photos, awards, coffee mugs with names on them. Desk 3B had a framed photo of 2 kids at Disneyland, both smiling, mouse ears, the castle in the background. Desk 5A had a plaque, Employee of the Year 2011. I emptied their trash, wiped their desks, vacuumed their floors. They would never know I existed. One night, I found a college acceptance letter in the trash can at Desk 7C. Someone had thrown away their future, torn it in half. I pulled it out, smoothed the pieces, read it. Congratulations on your acceptance to Texas State University. I kept it, folded it, put it in my pocket. I don't know why. Weekend catering was the worst. Not because of the work, because of the contrast. I'd serve champagne at hotel weddings, carry silver trays of crab cakes and stuffed mushrooms, wear white gloves and a fake smile, stand 3 feet from guests in gowns and tuxedos, completely invisible. At one wedding, I stood near a table of middle-aged women. One of them was talking about her daughter. Yes, our daughter just started at Stanford, pre-med. We're so proud. I held the tray. 12 crab cakes. The woman took one without looking at me. It's such a competitive program, another woman said. You must be thrilled. Oh, we are. She's worked so hard. I walked away, 3 feet from their conversation. Didn't exist. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Victoria's Instagram story. She was at a college party, blue dress, smiling with friends. Caption: Best night ever. I put my phone away. Picked up another tray. I lived in a 3-bedroom apartment with 2 roommates. Grace Sullivan, a waitress in her late 20s, and another girl who worked retail and was never home. My room was a partitioned corner of the living room. I'd hung a blue sheet as a curtain for privacy. Rent was $380 a month, my share. My alarm was set for 4:30 a.m. every morning. I'd wake up, eat ramen for breakfast, Maruchan chicken flavor, 33 cents per pack, and leave for the warehouse by 4:50 a.m. Grace tried to help sometimes. She'd make extra pasta, offer me some. You want some? I made extra. I'm good, thanks though. You've eaten ramen for like 2 weeks straight. I'm saving money. Saving for what? I didn't answer. What would you do if you had to choose between your future and your family's expectations? Let me know in the comments. May 2017. Victoria's college graduation. Biology degree. Summa cum laude. I saw the announcement on Facebook 2 weeks before. My mother posted, "So proud of our baby girl. College graduation coming up. 4 years of hard work." I requested the day off from Riverside Logistics. Tommy called me into his office. "It's inventory day," he said. "I need all hands." "It's my sister's graduation." He looked genuinely sorry. "I'm sorry. I really am. But if you leave, I have to write you up. 3 write-ups and you're gone." I couldn't afford to be gone. I worked inventory. May 20th, 2017, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., scanning boxes, counting stock, while my sister graduated summa cum laude with her biology degree 50 miles away. At 2 p.m., I took my break. Went to the vending machine. Row B, slot 7. Crackers, $1.25. I ate them standing up in the break room. My phone buzzed. Facebook notification. My mother had posted photos. Victoria in her cap and gown, holding her diploma, surrounded by family. Cake, balloons, everyone smiling. The caption, "So proud of our graduate." I wasn't tagged, I wasn't mentioned, I wasn't in a single photo. I closed Facebook, finished my crackers, went back to inventory. August 2018. 5 years in. Victoria had just finished a gap year and was heading to UT Health San Antonio for medical school. My parents threw a going-away party. I saw the photos on Instagram. New laptop, new apartment furniture, new professional clothes. Victoria doing an apartment tour, showing off her space, her roommate, her view of the medical campus. My father posted a photo with the caption, "Our daughter, future doctor, so proud to see her start this journey." I was working a double catering shift that day. 8 hours. 2 weddings back to back. My uniform had a sauce stain on the sleeve from the first event. I didn't have time to change before the second. At 8:23 p.m., standing in a hotel ballroom holding a tray of champagne flutes, I sent the monthly transfer. $900 that month. I'd added an extra $100 for Victoria's white coat and stethoscope. My mother texted back, THX. 3 letters. November 2016. The warehouse almost took my finger. I was loading boxes onto the conveyor belt, same as always. Box 1263 of the shift, and my right hand got caught in the loading mechanism. The belt jerked. Metal teeth. Pain. Tommy hit the emergency stop. I pulled my hand out. Blood everywhere. My index finger was mangled, skin torn, possibly fractured. Jesus Christ, Tommy said. ER, now. I drove myself. Couldn't afford an ambulance. The ER at University Hospital San Antonio was packed. I waited 90 minutes. They took me back, cleaned the wound, wrapped it, told me I was lucky I didn't lose the finger. The doctor was young, tired, end of a long shift. You need to keep this immobilized for at least 10 days. No lifting. I can't miss work. If you don't let this heal, you could have permanent nerve damage. I'll be careful. He looked at me like he'd heard that before. Handed me discharge papers and a prescription for antibiotics I couldn't afford. The ER bill was $890. I paid cash. My bank account went from $1,100 to $210. I went back to work 4 days later. Hand wrapped in a brace. Tommy brought me coffee that morning. Didn't say anything. Just set it on the table next to me. The scar is still there. Right index finger. Permanent. February 2017. I had $12.83 in my bank account. Rent was due in 3 days. My paycheck was delayed. Some issue with processing. They said it would be fixed by Friday. But Friday was too late. I sat on the bathroom floor at 2 a.m., knees pulled to my chest, staring at my phone. Banking app open. $12.83. Grace knocked on the door. You okay in there? I opened the door. She saw my face. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm fine. She sat down on the floor next to me. You're not fine. What do you need? I can't. My voice cracked. I can't keep doing this. Then don't. I have to. Grace pulled out her phone. How much do you need for rent? I can't take your money. I'm not asking. I'm offering. She opened Venmo. How much? $400. She sent it. Her phone made a little whoosh sound. Done. Pay me back whenever. Grace. You've been eating ramen for 5 years, Janice. Let someone help you for once. I paid her back in 3 weeks, but something shifted that night. I realized I couldn't keep doing this forever. I just didn't know what else to do. March 2017. I picked up an extra night shift at Clean Pro. New location. University Hospital San Antonio, the big trauma center downtown. They needed someone to clean the ER floors, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., 6 nights a week. I took it. My first shift, I was scrubbing the hallway outside the trauma bays at 2:30 a.m. Floor buffer humming, white hexagon tile, smell of disinfectant and blood. The ER was quiet for once. Just the sound of monitors beeping from behind closed doors. A woman came out of OR3. Trauma surgery scrubs, green, splattered with blood. She looked exhausted. 45 maybe. Dark hair pulled back. ID badge. Dr. Elena Bradford, head of trauma surgery. She saw me kneeling on the floor, scrubbing. She stopped. You're new here. I looked up. Started this week. She glanced at the medical chart in her hand, then at me, then back at the chart. She frowned. You read that? She pointed to a patient chart I'd accidentally picked up, thinking it was trash. Oh no, sorry, I thought it was. You were reading it upside down, correctly. I didn't know what to say. I set the chart down. She studied me for a moment. The ER clock on the wall showed 2:47 a.m. Trauma surgery scrubs, floor buffer still humming in the background. What's your name? I hesitated. Janice? She nodded, walked away. I didn't think about that moment again until 2 weeks later. Dr. Bradford saw me again. Same hallway, 3 a.m., same floor buffer. This time she stopped and actually talked. What were you studying? I looked up from the floor. Excuse me? Before this, you said you're new. What were you doing before? I was in college, engineering. Didn't finish. Why not? Life happened. She leaned against the wall, arms crossed. That's a shame. You seem sharper than half the med students rotating through here. I didn't know how to respond to that. I went back to scrubbing. She pushed off the wall, walked toward the break room, stopped, turned back. There's a coffee pot in the break room. It's terrible coffee, but it's free. Help yourself. That was it. She left. At 3:15 a.m., I took my break, went to the break room, poured burnt coffee into a styrofoam cup. The vending machine hummed in the corner. Dr. Bradford came in, poured her own coffee, sat down across from me. You ever think about going back to school? I can't afford it. There are programs, financial aid, loans. She pulled a pamphlet out of her bag, set it on the table between us. Physician Assistant Program, UT Health San Antonio, 3 years, clinical rotations, good salary after. I stared at the pamphlet, blue and white, logo at the top. Why are you telling me this? Because I see people, she said, and you're wasting yourself here. She stood up, threw her coffee cup in the trash, walked to the door. Think about it. She left. I picked up the pamphlet, folded it, put it in my jacket pocket. I kept that pamphlet for 2 weeks, read it on the bus, during breaks, at 4 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. Physician Assistant Program, 3 years. Prerequisites, anatomy, physiology, chemistry. I had some credits from my 3.5 years at UT Austin. I could finish the rest online. Starting salary, $92,000. 3 years. If I started now, I'd be 31 when I graduated. Victoria would be 24, finishing med school. I could do this. I Googled, can you work full-time during PA school? The answer, not recommended. I closed my laptop. May 2017. Dr. Bradford saw me cleaning the ER again. 3 a.m. Trauma room. 3, door ajar, sound of a ventilator beeping inside. She came out, peeling off gloves. I'll write you a recommendation letter, if you want it. I stopped cleaning. Why? I already told you, you're wasting yourself here. I can't afford it. I can't stop working. Financial aid exists. Loans exist. You're 27. You have time. I have responsibilities. To who? Family? Something like that. Dr. Bradford pulled a pen from her pocket, wrote something on a paper towel from the dispenser, her cell phone number. Think about it. Call me. She handed me the paper towel, walked away. I stood there, holding it. Dr. Elena Bradford, 10 digits, an offer. I didn't throw it away. 3 nights later, I spent my entire shift researching. PA programs, federal loans, part-time options, income-based repayment plans. I did the math. Victoria's med school tuition would be $55,000 a year. My parents could cover $30,000 from their savings. That left $25,000 they needed from me. Monthly, $2,083. If I cut down to 2 jobs, 50 hours a week instead of 75, and took out loans for school, I could still send $2,000 a month. It would be tight. I'd have to budget every dollar, but I could do it. I filled 3 notebook pages with calculations, color-coded spreadsheet, loan calculator open on my laptop. I was sitting in a coffee shop at 11 p.m., using their Wi-Fi, 4th cup of coffee, hands shaking from caffeine. At 1:14 a.m., I pulled out my phone, texted Dr. Bradford. I want to try. She responded 6 minutes later. Good, I'll send you the application link tomorrow. June and July 2017. I finished my prerequisite courses online. Anatomy, biochemistry. Paid for them with a credit card I'd just opened. $2,400 total. I worked 50 hours a week, warehouse and catering, dropped the cleaning shifts, Sent $2,200 home every month to keep things stable while Victoria prepared for med school. Dr. Bradford wrote my recommendation letter. I never saw what she wrote. She sealed it in an envelope, handed it to me. "Don't open it," she said. "Just send it with your application." I wrote my personal statement in the break room at Riverside Logistics, 6 a.m., before my shift started. Tommy brought me coffee without asking. I wrote, "I have spent 5 years in service roles logistics, hospitality, maintenance. I have learned the value of precision, of anticipation, of seeing what others need before they ask. I believe these skills translate to patient care. I want to be the person who shows up when it matters." I submitted the application in August. Confirmation email came through at 11:47 p.m. I stared at it for 10 minutes. Then I closed my laptop and went to bed. October 2017. I got the email at work. I was loading boxes onto the conveyor belt, same as always, and my phone buzzed in my pocket. Subject line: "Congratulations from UT Health San Antonio PA program." I stopped. Box halfway to the belt. Tommy noticed. "You good?" I read the email 3 times. "Yeah," I said. "I'm good." I didn't tell anyone. Not Grace, not my parents, not Victoria. I accepted the offer that night. Program start date: January 14th, 2018. I told my family I got promoted at the warehouse. Shift supervisor, more responsibility, slightly fewer hours, better pay overall. My mother said, "That's good. Victoria needs help with her med school expenses next year." I said okay. I started PA school in January 2018. 28 years old, oldest in my class by at least 2 years. I hid the acceptance packet under my mattress, kept my PA student ID in my wallet, buried under old receipts where no one would see it. For 3 years, I lived 2 lives, and my family never knew. January 14th, 2018. First day of PA school. Anatomy lab. 36 students in my cohort. Most of them were 24, 25, fresh from undergrad, excited and nervous. I was 28. I'd been working 3 jobs for 5 years. I felt ancient. Dr. Bradford was the guest lecturer that day. Trauma surgery overview. She walked in, saw me sitting in the 3rd row, made eye contact. Nodded. I nodded back. She started her lecture. I took notes like my life depended on it. The girl next to me introduced herself. Beth. 22, bright-eyed pre-med dropout like me, but for different reasons. "Is this your first time in anatomy?" "Yeah." "Same. It's so intense. Where'd you do undergrad?" "UT Austin. A while ago." Beth smiled. "Cool." We dissected a cadaver that afternoon. Table 7, thoracic cavity. Page 203 in the Anatomy Atlas. The smell of formaldehyde was overwhelming. Green scrubs, scalpel in my hand. Dr. Bradford walked between tables checking our work. She stopped at our table, looked at my dissection, the subclavian artery cleanly exposed. "Good work," she said quietly. My hands didn't shake, not once. I realized something in that moment. I wasn't afraid. I was exactly where I was supposed to be. My schedule for the next 3 years. A classes 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Warehouse shift 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sleep 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Weekends, catering gigs when I could get them. I studied on the bus, during lunch breaks, in the warehouse break room with my textbook propped against my locker. I highlighted pharmacology notes while eating vending machine sandwiches. Energy drinks became a food group, 3 per day. My hands trembled from caffeine half the time. Beth and the other students would invite me out. Happy hour. Study groups at bars. "You coming?" "Can't, I have work." "Again? You work like every night?" "Yeah." They stopped asking after a while. I fell asleep in pharmacology class once. Second year, February 2019. I'd worked a double shift the night before warehouse and an emergency catering gig at 3 hours of sleep, came to class running on Red Bull and desperation. Professor was lecturing on beta blockers. My head dropped. I jerked awake to Beth nudging my shoulder. The professor noticed. Didn't call me out during class. Afterward, she pulled me aside. You okay? I'm fine, sorry. You work nights? Yeah. She looked at me for a long moment. Get some rest. You can't learn if you're unconscious. I nodded. Went to my next shift. March 2018. Victoria got her acceptance to UT Health San Antonio Medical School. 4 years MD program, starting fall 2018. The family group chat exploded. 47 unread messages in an hour. My father. Victoria got into med school. Our daughter, the doctor. My mother. I'm crying, so proud. Victoria. Thanks, everyone. I muted the notifications. I was in the library studying for my PA program finals, pharmacology exam in 2 days. I had 891 pages left to review. I didn't respond to the group chat. May 2021. 2 graduations, same month. Victoria graduated from medical school with her MD ceremony on Saturday, May 22nd. My parents threw a party. 40 people. Cake, balloons, celebration. I graduated from PA school on Friday, May 21st. Navy blue gown. Ceremony at 2 p.m. I sat in the audience with my cohort. Beth's family was there. Parents, siblings, grandparents, everyone cheering when she walked across the stage. When they called my name, Janice Gonzalez, PAC. I walked across alone, shook the dean's hand, received my diploma. Dr. Bradford was there. She found me afterward in the lobby. You did it. 3 years working full-time. That's extraordinary. I almost didn't make it. But you did. That's what counts. She handed me a card. Blue envelope. Inside. Outstanding Achievement in Clinical Excellence. Signed by her and the program director. I'm proud of you, she said. I couldn't speak. I just nodded. Dr. Bradford hugged me, first hug I'd received in years. I went home, set my diploma on my desk, took a photo of it with my phone timer, solo graduation photo. Just me, the diploma, the plain wall of my bedroom. That night, I saw Victoria's Instagram. Family photo, 50 people, cake with Dr. Victoria Gonzalez, written in frosting. My mother's caption, so proud of my baby girl. I closed Instagram, deleted the app. I didn't need to see that anymore. See, Dr. Bradford offered me a job 2 weeks later. Surgical PA, trauma department, University Hospital San Antonio. Starting salary, $92,000 a year. Health insurance, benefits. I want you on my team, she said. Trauma, you've seen enough suffering, now you get to fix it. When do I start? 2 weeks, June 1st. I gave notice at all 3 jobs, called Riverside Logistics first. Tommy answered. Gonzalez, what's up? I'm putting in my 2 weeks. Silence. Then, you found something better? Yeah, I did. Good for you, kid. You deserve it. I called Clean Pro, called Sterling Catering, same conversation, 2 weeks. For the first time in 7 years, I would only work 1 job. June 1st, 2021. First day as a PA. 32 years old. I walked into University Hospital wearing scrubs, stethoscope around my neck, ID badge clipped to my collar. Janice Gonzalez, PAC. Dr. Bradford met me in the trauma bay. Ready? Yeah. Good. We have a GSW coming in. 22-year-old male. You're with me. We ran the case. I assisted. Watched Dr. Bradford work. Learned. My hands were steady. My mind was clear. Afterward, she looked at me. You were made for this. I nodded. I knew. June 2021. Victoria started her residency. General surgery program. Same campus. UT Health San Antonio. Same hospital where I worked. I requested a name badge with my full legal name variant, J. Gonzalez Martinez, PAC, using my mother's maiden name as a hyphenate. Different enough that if Victoria ever saw it, she wouldn't make the connection immediately. I studied the campus map, planned my routes, used the back stairwells, ate lunch at odd hours, avoided the resident areas. I saw her once in the cafeteria. October 2021, 2 p.m. I was grabbing a late lunch. She walked in with other residents, scrubs, stethoscope, laughing about something. I turned around, left, threw my food away, ate a vending machine sandwich in my car. I wasn't ready to see her yet. My first major trauma case was October 12, 2021, 3 a.m. MVA, multiple vehicle collision, patient coding on arrival. Dr. Bradford was lead surgeon. I was first assist. The adrenaline was insane, blood everywhere, orders flying, clamp, suture, retract. Dr. Bradford's voice calm and steady over the chaos. Janice Bovey. I handed it to her. Good. Now clamp the bleeder. There. Perfect. The patient stabilized. We closed. Time of surgery end. 4:47 a.m. Post-op, Dr. Bradford pulled off her mask, blood on her scrubs, exhausted. Your hands didn't shake, not once. I was terrified. Terrified is fine. Freezing is not. You didn't freeze. I walked to the parking lot at dawn. The sun was coming up. I saw a group of residents arriving for their 7 a.m. rounds. Victoria was among them, coffee in hand, backpack over her shoulder. I got in my car, drove away before she could see me. March 2024. Victoria's third year of residency. PGY3. I saw her name on the senior resident teaching schedule. He was being assigned to help train junior residents in trauma. My stomach dropped. I immediately requested night shifts for the entire month. Dr. Bradford noticed. You requested night shifts for March? Yeah, I prefer nights. She looked at me. She knew, but she didn't push. Okay. I worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day in March. Victoria worked 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We never crossed paths, except for the last day. March 31st. I came in 30 minutes early, 6:30 a.m. Victoria was leaving at 7 a.m., end of her rotation. We passed each other in the parking garage. Level 3. Fluorescent lights. She walked past me, 10 feet away, phone in her hand, texting someone. She didn't look up. She didn't recognize me. I exhaled. August 2023, 2 years into my job, Dr. Bradford called me into her office. I'm making you senior PA, she said. Salary bump to $128,000. You'll train new hires and supervise residents on their rotations. Residents? Yes, you'll scrub in on their cases, guide them, teach them. You've earned it. Senior Surgical PA. I was 34 years old, making more than most attendings made at their first job. I looked at my new badge when it arrived. J. Gonzalez Martinez, PAC, Senior Surgical PA. I thought about my father's voice. You're just the cash cow. I put the badge on, went to work. June 2024. I got my pay stub. Monthly salary, $10,666 before taxes. Annual, $128,000. Victoria was in her third year of residency. PGY3 salary, about $68,000. Still, I out-earned her by $60,000. The realization didn't feel triumphant. It just felt strange, hollow. I sent $500 home that month. First time in 10 years I'd sent less than $2,000. My mother texted, "Is everything okay?" I didn't respond. September 2024. Dr. Bradford assigned me to work more closely with our senior residents, including Victoria, who was now PGY3. I want you helping refine their technique, she said. You're the best teacher I have. I nodded. Victoria and I had managed to avoid working directly together for 3 years. That was about to end. November 2024. Dr. Bradford called me into her office. I need you to start working more directly with Victoria, she said. She's PGY3 now, solid technically, but she needs refinement. You're the best teacher I have. I nodded slowly. Okay. You two have been dancing around each other for 3 years. It's time. June 2021 through November 2025, 4.5 years. The dance. Victoria and I worked the same hospital, different schedules. I requested trauma cases when she wasn't assigned. I knew her rotation schedule better than my own. Close calls everywhere, elevator, cafeteria, parking garage, hallways. I became an expert at avoidance. I'd see her coming, turn the other direction, duck into stairwells, wait in bathrooms until she passed. It was exhausting. August 2025. My car broke down. First time in 2 years I had to take the bus. I was standing at the bus stop outside the hospital at 6 p.m. Victoria walked out of the main entrance, got into a new car white SUV, probably a graduation gift from my parents, and drove away. She didn't see me at the bus stop. I got on the bus, rode home. The car was fixed 3 days later. September 2025. I was in the cafeteria at 2 p.m., off-peak hour, eating a pasta salad. Victoria walked in unexpectedly. I stood up, walked to the bathroom, single stall, locked the door, set a timer on my phone. 10 minutes. I could hear my heartbeat. This is ridiculous, I thought. I'm 36 years old hiding in a bathroom from my 30-year-old sister. But I'm not ready. Not yet. Timer went off. I came out. Victoria was gone. My food was cold. Jackson, one of the PGY ones I'd been training, saw me come out. You good? Yeah. Just needed a minute. He nodded. Didn't ask questions. October 2025. The locker room. I was changing scrubs. Locker number 247. Halfway through pulling my shirt over my head, I heard Victoria's voice. Next row over, talking to another resident. I froze. Shirt half on, listening. Yeah, my parents are visiting this weekend, Victoria said. Taking me to dinner. They're so proud. They sacrificed a lot for me to be here. I owe them everything. My hands clenched, metal locker door cold against my palm. They sacrificed. I waited until she left, sat on the bench for 5 minutes, breathed. She has no idea, I whispered to myself. Would you confront your family if they took credit for your sacrifice? Let me know what you'd do. November 18th, 2025, 4:42 p.m. Dr. Bradford called me. I need you on a case December 14th. Trauma. Teaching case. Victoria's primary operator. Your first assist. My stomach dropped. Can someone else do it? I need you. You're the best I have for that. Victoria needs someone who can refine her technique. She doesn't know who I am. I know. Dr. Bradford's voice was gentle. But she will after this case. Silence. What if She'll handle it, and so will you. The call ended. I stared at my calendar. December 14th, 26 days away. I spent November building a folder. Manila folder, worn at the edges. Inside, Western Union receipts, 2014 to 2018, every $3,200 transfer, 60 receipts total, pay stubs from all 3 jobs, warehouse, cleaning, catering, my PA school diploma, May 2021, certificates, outstanding clinical excellence, senior surgical PA, photos. Me in the OR, scrubbed in, assisting Dr. Bradford. Dated 2023. Dr. Bradford's recommendation letter from 2017. I'd kept a copy. Current pay stub. November 2025. $128,000 annual salary. I didn't know why I was building this folder. Maybe to prove I existed. Maybe to prove I succeeded. Maybe just to show them I wasn't the cash cow anymore. I put the folder in my car. December 14th. I'd bring it, just in case. December 13th, 2025, 11 p.m. I was at the hospital reviewing the chart for tomorrow's case. Patient, male 34 years old, MVA, internal bleeding, suspected splenic rupture, CT showed grade 3 laceration, exploratory laparotomy likely, good teaching case, clear pathology, manageable complexity, perfect for a PGY3 primary operator. Victoria was listed as primary operator, PGY3, capable but still learning. This would be her first time leading a complex trauma case start to finish. Chart number 25-8903. CT scan images clipped to the front. OR scheduled for 8 a.m. My phone buzzed. Dr. Bradford. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's a big day. I didn't respond. I sat there with the chart, drank my fourth coffee of the day, stared at the CT images. Tomorrow, 1 a.m. I was sitting in my car in the hospital parking garage. Level 3. Streetlight flickering overhead. The folder was on the passenger seat. I opened it. Looked at the first Western Union receipt. January 2014. $800. Transaction number 856-003. Looked at my graduation photo. Solo. 2021. Navy blue gown. Looked at my current pay stub. $128,000. 12 years in one folder. From cash cow to this. Senior surgical PA. Teaching the achiever how to save lives. Is this revenge? I thought. Or just proof I survived? I closed the folder. Tomorrow they'll know, I said out loud. All of them. I drove home. Tried to sleep. Couldn't. Rehearsed in my head. What to say. How to stay professional. Whether to tell Victoria before the case or during or after. I decided, during. Let the work speak first. I'll wait until we're scrubbed in. I'll do my job. I'll teach her. And then we'll see. My alarm went off at 5:30 a.m. December 14th, 2025. Showtime. 7 a.m. I arrived at the OR. Checked the instrument tray. Scalpel, clamps, retractors, sutures, all laid out. Reviewed the case one more time with Dr. Bradford. You ready? She asked. As I'll ever be. She's good. Nervous, but good. She'll need you today. I know. You going to tell her? Eventually. Not before the case. Dr. Bradford nodded. Fair enough. The anesthesia machine hummed in the background. OR number 3. Clock on the wall. 7:03 a.m. The door opened. Victoria walked in. Scrubs on, hair pulled back. Nervous energy radiating off her. She saw Dr. Bradford. Nodded. Then she saw the name on my badge. J. Gonzalez Martinez, PAC. She didn't recognize me. 7:40 a.m. Scrub room. Victoria and I stood side by side scrubbing our hands. Soap, water, foot pedal. 3 minutes of silence. Then Victoria spoke. Have you been here long? 4 years. Cool. Well, I've been here 4 years too, PGY3. But this is my first time as primary on something this complex. Her voice was tight, anxious. I know. I'm so nervous. What if I mess up? I kept my voice calm, measured, professional. You won't. Dr. Bradford wouldn't put you on this case if she didn't think you could handle it. Victoria exhaled. Thanks. That helps. Her hands were shaking slightly. Mine were steady. We finished scrubbing, walked into the OR, patient on the table, anesthetized, draped, sterile field ready. Dr. Bradford stood on the patient's right side, nodded to us. Let's begin? Victoria gowned up, gloved, stepped to the table, Dr. Bradford on her right. I entered from the scrub room, fully gowned, and walked to Victoria's left, first assist position. Victoria looked up. Our eyes met over our masks. For the first time, she really saw me. Her breath caught. Recognition started to dawn. Wait, she whispered. Do I know you? I kept my voice calm, professional. Hi, Victoria. Her eyes went wide. Janice? Dr. Bradford's voice cut through. Let's focus. We have a patient. The OR lights were blinding. Patient draped in blue. Surgical field sterile. Heart monitor beeping. 78 beats per minute. Clock, 8:02 a.m. Victoria's hands froze. I spoke quietly. Scalpel. The nurse handed it to me. I handed it to Victoria. Make the incision. I'll guide you. Victoria's hand was shaking. The scalpel trembled in her grip. I placed my gloved hand over hers. Sterile to sterile. Steady pressure, midline incision, xiphoid process to pubic symphysis. I'm right here. Her voice was tight, barely controlled. I can't. Yes, you can. Breathe. I've done this 200 times, trust me. Dr. Bradford's voice, calm and steady. Listen to Janice. She's the best first assist I have. Victoria took a breath, steadied herself. She made the cut. Clean, controlled. Blood welled at the incision edge. Good, I said. Now Bovie for hemostasis. Victoria looked at me, eyes still shocked, but her hands were moving. The case proceeded. I guided her through every step. Retractors, clamps, exposure of the spleen, vessel ligation. Retract here. See the splenic artery? Clamp proximal and distal before you cut. Like this? Exactly. Now ligate. Double tie. You're doing great. Dr. Bradford watched, interjected teaching points. Janice, show her the proper angle for the tie. I demonstrated. Victoria mimicked. Perfect. The spleen came out, vessels tied off, patient stable. Dr. Bradford. Excellent work, Dr. Gonzalez. Janice, excellent assist as always. Closure. I walked Victoria through it. Fascia layer, subcutaneous layer, skin. Her hands were steadier now, muscle memory kicking in. Fascia first, running suture, 0 PDS, full thickness. Victoria's voice was quieter now. How do you know all this? Practice, lots of practice. Final skin staple placed. Dr. Bradford checked the time. Time of closure, 10:47 a.m. Well done, everyone. The patient was wheeled to recovery. We de-gowned. Dr. Bradford pulled off her mask. Dr. Gonzalez, that was excellent for your first time as primary on a complex case. Janice, thank you. Victoria was silent, processing. I removed my mask, full face visible now. Victoria stared at me. We need to talk, she said. Break room. 11:08 a.m. Just Victoria and me. The worn couch. Vending machine humming. Empty coffee pot. Long silence. Victoria finally spoke. How long have you been here? 4 years? Why didn't you… She stopped. Started again. I don't understand. You're a PA? When did you… How? PA school, 2018 to 2021. Started working here June 2021. But you were working those jobs. The warehouse. I did. For 5 years. Then I went back to school. Victoria sat down, put her head in her hands. Does Mom know? Does Dad? No. She looked up. What do you mean, no? I mean they don't know. And they're about to. What are you talking about? Before I could answer, the door opened. 11:30 a.m. My parents walked in, Daniel and Carmen Gonzalez, visitor badges clipped to their shirts. They'd come to celebrate Victoria's first complex case as primary operator. They saw Victoria, then they saw me. Scrubs, PA badge, stethoscope, confusion on their faces. My mother spoke first. Janice, what are you doing here? My father, is everything okay? Victoria, are you okay? Victoria's voice was quiet. I'm fine. Janice was my first assist today. My father frowned. First assist? What does that mean? The door opened again. Dr. Bradford walked in. "You must be Victoria's parents," she said, extending her hand. "I'm Dr. Bradford, head of trauma surgery. Your daughter did excellent work today." My parents shook her hand, still confused. Dr. Bradford gestured to me. "And Janice here is my senior PA. She's been training our residents for years. Victoria was lucky to have her today." My mother's face, pure confusion. "Janice is a PA?" "Yes," Dr. Bradford said. "One of the best. We couldn't run this department without her." My father turned to me. "When did this happen? How long have you been here?" I pulled the manila folder from my bag, set it on the table. 4 years. I opened it, spread the contents across the break room table. Pay stubs, diploma, certificates, photos, Western Union receipts, yellowed and creased. "I've been here 4 years," I said. My voice was calm, controlled. "PA school, 2018 to 2021. Started working here June 2021. 4.5 years total." My father picked up a pay stub. His hands shook slightly. "This says you make 128,000 a year. Yes." What would you say to your family in this moment? Drop your thoughts below. My mother's voice was small. "Why didn't you tell us?" I looked at her, really looked at her. "Because I spent 5 years being invisible. I sent you $3,200 a month, worked 75 hours a week, ate ramen, slept 4 hours a night, and you called me the cash cow." My father started to speak. "We didn't." "Yes, you did. You said it to my face. December 2013. Kitchen table. You said Victoria could be a doctor and I needed to pay for it. You said she was the achiever. I was just support." The room was silent except for the vending machine humming. "So I became support," I continued. "The best damn surgical support this hospital has." My father looked defensive. "We never meant—" "You said it on the phone. March 2014. I called to wish Victoria happy birthday. You were talking to someone. You said, 'Janice is our cash cow. Victoria's the real achiever.' I heard you." My mother put her hand over her mouth. Victoria was crying quietly. "Janice, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." I turned to her. My voice softened. "I know you didn't. That's not your fault." Then I looked back at my parents. "But you did. You knew exactly what you were asking me to give up. And you never once asked if I was okay." Dr. Bradford stepped forward. "If I may." Dr. Bradford's voice carried authority, professional, measured. "I've worked with Janice for 4 years. She's trained dozens of residents. She's assisted in over 300 surgeries. And today, she taught your daughter Victoria how to save a life." She looked at my parents directly. "Without Janice, that patient doesn't make it. Without Janice, Victoria doesn't succeed in that OR. Your daughter Victoria will be a great surgeon someday, but today Janice was the reason that patient is alive." Silence. Dr. Bradford continued. "Your daughter Janice is the foundation this entire department is built on, so before you say anything else, you should know. I see her. We all see her here." My mother was crying now. My father looked like he'd been punched. Victoria stood up, walked over to me. "I'm sorry," she said, voice breaking. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I should have asked. I should have. I'm sorry." I looked at her. My little sister, 30 years old, Dr. Victoria Gonzalez, MD, PGY3. "You were a kid," I said softly. 18, then 20, then 22. You didn't make those choices. They did." Victoria reached for my hand. I didn't pull away. My father finally spoke. "Janice, we didn't realize—" I cut him off. "You didn't realize because you didn't ask. For 12 years you didn't ask. You just took, and I let you, because I thought that's what family did." I picked up the folder, closed it. But I'm done. I stood up, walked toward the door, stopped, turned back. I'm not the cash cow. I'm not the backup plan. I'm a senior surgical PA. I save lives. I teach residents. I earn my way. And I did it without you. My voice was steady, clear. So if you came here today to celebrate Victoria's success, good. Celebrate her. She earned it. But so did I. And you don't get to pretend I don't exist anymore. I looked at Victoria. You did good work today. I'm proud of you. Then I looked at Dr. Bradford. I'll see you tomorrow for rounds. I walked out. The door closed behind me. My footsteps echoed in the hallway. Behind me, I heard Victoria's voice muffled. She's right. About all of it. I kept walking. 2 weeks later, December 28th, 2025. I was in the hospital cafeteria on my break. Coffee. Quiet. Victoria approached. Hesitant. Can we talk? I gestured to the chair across from me. She sat. I told them, she said, about everything. They want to apologize. I don't need their apology. I know, but I do. I need you to know. I see you now. I sipped my coffee. Waited. Victoria continued. I can't take back 12 years. But I want you to know I'm grateful. Not just for the money. For today. For teaching me. For being better than they ever gave you credit for. Thanks. Can we? She hesitated. Can we start over? I thought about it. Really thought about it. We can try. Victoria smiled. Small. Genuine. We sat there for a while. Two sisters, two Gonzalez women. Both in scrubs. Both in medicine. Different paths. Same building. The December afternoon light came through the cafeteria windows. San Antonio skyline in the distance. Victoria finished her coffee. Stood up. I have to get to rounds, she said. Yeah, me too. She started to leave. Stopped. Turned back. Janice? Yeah? Thank you for everything. I nodded. She left. I sat there for another minute, finished my coffee, looked out the window. 12 years. From cash cow to this. I stood up, threw my cup away, headed back to the trauma bay. Dr. Bradford was waiting. Ready for the next case? Always. We walked into OR3. New patient, new case, new day. Victoria was there, scrubbed in, part of the team now. She saw me, smiled. I smiled back. Dr. Bradford started the case. All right, team. Let's save a life. And we did. Because that's what we do. That's who we are. Not the cash cow. Not the achiever. Just people who show up when it matters. Even when no one sees you. Especially when no one sees you. Have you ever been underestimated by your family? Ever had to prove your worth to people who should have seen it all along? Share your story in the comments. And if this resonated with you, please share this video. Someone out there needs to hear this, because you're not what they called you. You're what you became despite them. And that's everything.